Devil May Cry came out in 2001 on PlayStation 2 to great reception following the hype train from Resident Evil series. This game was more of an action-adventure set in a horror-style theme. It was originally going to be Resident Evil 4, but it didn't fit the theme, so the team dropped that, and continued to refine the game into its own thing. Then we had Devil May Cry 2, which was released in 2003, and it was not received as well, as it was not done by the original team as the first game or the director. This leads us into Devil May Cry 3, which was received very well and saw a return from Team Level Devil and Hideki Kamiya. This game was released in 2005. I didn't play these games until the collection came out on the Xbox 360. However, then we go into the first Devil May Cry game I played. This was Devil May Cry 4, released in 2008 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. I somehow sunk in hundreds of hours into this game, getting a lot of the achievements and playing through all the difficulties. While it's not the best in the series, I enjoyed it a lot because of the fun gameplay and the challenge it brought in the market saturated by games that held your hand or were too easy the whole time. Then there was DMC Devil May Cry. This game was hated by a lot of fans because it was a different Dante than who they knew. The thing is, Ninja Theory had talked to Hideki Kamiya about what they should do, and he told them to reinvent Dante as they see he should be. And so they did. Now, I still got this game and played through it a lot. Did all the difficulties again and sunk many hours into this game as well. The story was a tad weird and weak, but it did have its own type of charm to it. The game was overall a lot of fun, with familiar combat and weapons to swap between. Now finally, after all this time, we finally got the next installment in the long-running series, Devil May Cry 5. The question I'm going to answer today is, Devil May Cry 5 or is it just... Let's find out in this week's episode of Kinda Late Reviews. Devil May Cry 5 starts us in what should feel like the end of the story. Nero, Dante, and V, the new character for this game, are inside a tree called the Quaithod. This tree is grown in the middle of a town called Redgrave, and the three heroes are fighting the big bad guy who is just sitting in a chair ignoring all of Dante's attacks. This really sets the mood for how powerful the bad guy is this time around. He is front and center and showing his power already. The other thing is that Nero, a returning character from Devil May Cry 4, has lost his devil arm and is only using one arm to exact his revenge. Shortly after being beaten, V and Nero retreat to gain more power to stop this Demon King. The story goes on following the adventure and switching between the three characters as they try to fight off the newest Demon King. This game is built using the new RE engine that Capcom came out with for Resident Evil 7, and oh boy, this is a great engine they have. The game looks so good. Dante, who is now a bit older than we last saw him, looks great. The look of Nero and V are also really aesthetically pleasing, especially when it comes to the look of Nero's new replacement arms, his Devil Breakers. For another new character, Nico, a southern accented girl who was passed as a cosplayer for Sydney from Final Fantasy 15. Levels all look great and they're full of things to interact with, from destroyable bookcases to demonic blood tunnels. The enemy designs, from the lesser demons to the big bad bosses, are all really interesting to look at. After beating the game, there's all sorts of other artwork to look at, like concept art and character designs for those who are interested. There's one other detail that I don't see anyone talk about, and this is when you first turn the game on, the title screen only shows Nero, the first playable character. Then, after you play as V, you go back to the title screen, V is also on the title screen. Then finally, after playing as Dante, all three characters were present on the title screen. I think this is a nice little detail that Capcom put in that most may not even notice. Menus look crisp and easy to read, cutscenes are great and feature a lot of over-the-top action as expected from this series. One of the best being the intro scene with Nico and Nero in a Devil May Cry van doing a slow-mo flip and shooting and slashing demons, all while fantastic music is playing. The sound design is something of a different level. The sounds of the weapons is so satisfying to hear, it makes you want to never stop swinging them at the enemies. The voice acting is top-notch, with Johnny Young Bosch returning as Nero, Ruben Langdon reprising his role as Dante since Devil May Cry 3, and then we have the newcomer Brian Hanford as V, along with Freya Kingsley as one of my favorite characters, Nico. She really sells this character well. The lines that V recites in the game, especially his commands and reading from his books, have me quoting him all the time, and it never seems to get old. Aside from that, let's talk about the music. This soundtrack is intense, and yet also relaxing at times. The sound for the shop is a nice relaxing beat that you will be humming for days after. Combat music is great for each character has their own song for combat. However, you can set them all to have the same one and different ones that you please. the best being Nero's combat music, also the main song of the game called Devil Trigger. This song is a masterpiece to me. I listen to this song all the time. I'm listening to the song right now as I typed up this review. Even if you don't like Devil May Cry, you probably enjoyed this song in one of its forms. Yes, there are two versions of the song, a normal and a slow version. Both are great. Swinging your swords through hordes of enemies is so gratifying. That isn't all you have at your disposal. Each character is fairly unique and different from each other. Nero has his two weapons, motorcycle handle fire-revving sword, the Red Queen, and his double-barrel revolver, the Blue Rose. Along with those, he has his new arm and well arms. They are all called Devil Breakers. And they are mechanical arms. Each one can do very different unique things, like shoot out a burst of air for maneuverability to throwing a rocket-powered arm that Nero can ride on while in combat. V is more interesting for combat as he's only good for finishing off enemies. He is too weak to fight them from head on, so he uses his familiars to fight. He has a raven, which acts as his gun, a panther to be his sword, and finally, a golem-like creature to be his devil trigger attacks. V must stay back from the enemies and yet close enough to issue commands to his familiars, offering more of an observe and a tactician approach, changing up the usual swing sword, shoot gun, kill devils. Then we have Dante. He plays like he did in Devil May Cry 4. He can switch his weapons and guns on the fly, adding more variation to his combos. On top of that, he can also change the fighting styles from Trickster, Swordmaster, Gunslinger, and Royal Guard, each offering even more levels of complexity to him, and more variations to his moveset. Aside from the characters, everything else is pretty simple. Run along the level from point A to point B, kill everything in your path, and fight the boss at the end. The only thing that really in the game to look for, besides different colored orbs, some extend your life bar, others are currency and secret missions. These secret missions are short little trials where at the end you get a blue orb for your troubles. Collect 4 of these and your health goes up. The hardest part of all of this is getting those S ranks at the end of each mission, and those sweet, sweet triple S combos going. Personally, I don't have many issues with this game in terms of action and style, and even the story. This is a fantastic game. Some might be turned off by the fact that the game is very anime in its storytelling style, but I think it works for this game. The one major flaw I can see of this game has its lack of very responsive dodge buttons. I can see that being an issue in higher difficulties, and especially in Hell or Hell mode, where you die in one hit and everyone else has full health. The other issue I may have is the amount of red orbs you need to grind in order to unlock the final ability, which is just a no taunt for each character, and that is 3 million red orbs for each character. The more expensive ability is around 50,000 orbs, which is easily obtainable during most missions. There you have it. Devil May Cry 5 is a fun ride and worth a few playthroughs. This game is easily in my running for Game of the Year already. Music is fantastic, especially that Devil Trigger song, and it's worth a listener to. The art is great using the new RE engine that they made for Resident Evil 7. The gameplay is diverse for each character, yet simple to use and hard to master. A lot of things to unlock and secrets to find. The story is as smoking, sexy, and styling as the getting a triple S in combat. While playing Devil May Cry 5 on the Xbox One S, I spent well over 1 million red orbs on upgrades, played through the campaign on the easiest difficulty called Human Mode, and working my way through Son of Sparta difficulty while I work on my skill to get through the Hell or Hell mode. I also completed all 12 secret missions. Devil May Cry 5 is a great game for fans and newcomers alike. Give it a shot, and maybe you'll cry just like a devil may. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you valuing my opinion of this game. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more. Hit that like button, it helps out the channel. Share this video with your friends, family, and even your pets. Let me know what you think about Devil May Cry 5 in the comments below. I'm already late for my next review. See you then.